Welcome to Studio 1A. Today we're back at her here, grinding through the last week of summer as we gear up to change the lives of the students with another school year on the horizon.
Last big day of summer, really, right? Got Monday off, so this is Sunday fun day, Crouchy.
Oh boy, yeah.
For me, you got some other responsibilities, but
yeah, I'm sure you'll be rocking at the lake today.
Oh man, it's the lake is rocking today. By the way, it is really ripping, big time waves. So we're hoping to have a little fire tonight. We'll have to see what happens with the wind, but yeah, it's taste of fall, or the feeling of fall is in the air for sure.
Yeah, it's a little cooler in the mornings, cooler at night, but another school year upon us this week. So what do we got on tap today, Oj? You're kind of taking the lead. Last week you were on fire. You had one of your best performances in your podcasting career.
Hey, you wouldn't believe the comments I got on that. I mean, I was accused of being on meth by a couple of people.
Would you even know what meth was if you saw it?
I have no idea. I don't even know if that's what it does to you, but
for the record, Oj is not on meth.
I feel good about being able to step up when I was needed last week, so certainly can't count on that today or ever again, but yeah, we'll see what today brings. I think the first thing we got to talk about is how much college football were you able to watch yesterday?
I watched a little bit of it, kind of part of the Georgia game. Saw a little bit of the Michigan game last night, but
yeah, we just mentioned too, talking about the Wolverines a little bit. A few takeaways from that. I think number one is it certainly looks like that's a crew that had 5 offensive linemen that are now in the NFL gone, right? I mean, that's a whole new crew up front.
Donovan Edwards was a non-factor.
Yeah, and you know, I knew that Mullings would get some carries, but I didn't realize he'd be the featured back. You know, Edwards he caught some, quick screen stuff, and they handed it to him a few times, but his role seems to be the same as it was when Blake Corum was there.
Yeah.
They give him the ball in a few different ways. I thought he would be a 20-plus carry guy, and he wasn't. That was Mullings. And then the other surprise was, and they certainly did a good job of keeping this quiet, but Davis Warren being the starting quarterback, I guess it says a lot for the issues with Alex Orji being able to throw the ball, because you certainly can't tell me that's where they didn't want to go with that big physical runner.
I think initially going in, everyone would think that he would have been the man.
Yeah, but it's got to be directly related to just him being able to make the throws he's got to make, or Warren being that much better at it than he is. So those are the takeaways there. The defense looked good though. Those two guys in the middle, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, are as good as there is. Colson Loveland looked good, tight end wise, but yeah, we'll see. It gets a little tougher next week for Michigan.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of friends of ours that are eagerly anticipating the kickoff of that game. I believe are they going to be in attendance?
Well, they went all the way back to Texas yesterday to watch that butt whooping that Texas put on Colorado State. So yeah, they'll be back. Be back up this way too for the game. So the other takeaways I had yesterday, you mentioned a little bit, Clemson just not being able to compete with Georgia.
Right. I figured Georgia would put the boots to them, but not in that capacity. I thought Clemson would have a little more fight, but
so that was a shocker. I thought that doesn't bode well for Clemson, or maybe Georgia's just that good.
Well, they were all minus their running back too.
That's true.
So yeah, I think Georgia's going to be somebody that's forced to be reckoned with. Some big games on their schedule coming up for sure.
And then the other one for me was, Billy Napier in Florida. They're in trouble.
Yeah, he may not make it through the year.
They're at home against Miami and just got their arses booted. So, and I actually bet on that too. I took Miami, so that was a good win for me. Yeah.
You.
But yeah,
are we bringing back Oj's wager talk at some point?
Yeah, not this week.
Okay, as we get into the NFL,
yeah,
let things settle down.
Let week 1 get through the NFL.
Plus, you got to make sure that you got all your classes set up and all your lesson plans detailed and stuff as you begin your, what is it, your 29th year teaching?
I don't know.
Long time ago, eh?
27, isn't it?
No.
28?
It's at least 28.
1997?
It ain't. You don't need to showcase your math skill on air here.
We'll go at 28. So yeah, Florida getting pounded by Miami was something else. Iowa scored 40 points. That's news. I don't care who they played. They got 40 points.
That is for sure.
Penn State, good win for them against West Virginia.
Did you watch any of Michigan State the other night?
No, not a single play.
You didn't. I watched some of it. I was not impressed.
Well,
I'm not going to go as far as to say they rubbed me the wrong way, but they got some work to do there too. So.
Well, you just can't get away from that, can you?
No. That's what happens when you dial it up.
So tonight we got a big game too. USC LSU.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, two brand new quarterbacks, Daniels and Caleb Williams, both gone. You know, the big time quarterbacks had last year. So that'll be a 7:30 game tonight. So look forward to watching that.
I did take a peek. Watched a little bit of a future LSU quarterback this morning when I was up for ungodly hours. Watched a little bit of the Belleville-Clarkston game. Belleville's quarterback, that Underwood is the #1 recruit in the nation, going to LSU.
Oh.
Clarkston, obviously, we got ties there with Justin Pinter. And then,
how'd that game go?
It was actually a pretty good game. I think Clarkston lost by a touchdown. But again, our friends that were just in town, their son plays, so I watched a little bit of that. Underwood kid is good. That's my closest I'll get to watching LSU this weekend.
Awesome.
What else? Well, you're on a roll. What do you want to get into today? I know we're going to do some picks at some point here today.
Yeah, we got to get our NFL stuff going. Well, we got game Thursday, correct?
I think it kicks off this week. Packers are playing in Brazil.
Chiefs, Ravens, I think, open up. Packers Friday night they played
In Brazil.
against Philly. Yep. So then we'll be back Sunday and we'll get our predictions and thoughts on maybe some bets and stuff but yeah, we'll look forward to that. Get through today, like I said, and then NFL season opens up Thursday. So should we go through our?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Well, we talked first on the NFL win totals.
Okay.
Let's go through that a little bit. Just a quick rundown so our fans have a little bit of a clue as what we're talking about here. The teams with the best prediction of win totals for the year are the Chiefs at 11.5.
Yep.
And was there one more with 11.5?
49ers are 10.5.
So that
Ravens are 10.5.
Okay, that was it then. So just the Chiefs at 11.5. 49ers 10.5, like you said, and the Ravens also. Then you got a whole pile of them between 7.5 and 9.5. The bottom dwellers, Carolina, Tennessee, Washington, and the bottom of the barrel with 4.5. Actually, I had Carolina. DraftKings is Carolina at 5.5. The only one they had at 4.5 was
Denver.
the Patriots.
Really?
Yeah, Patriots at 4.5.
Wow.
So that's the bottom of the barrel there. So which locks do you have? Let's go back and forth here. You give me one lock right off the bat.
We're picking that are going to be over their win total.
Whatever you want.
Or under the win
It could
total.
be either way.
Okay. The one that jumps out to me right off the bat is your Dallas Cowboys. They're 9.5. I think they're going to be under. I know that I hate to stick a dagger in you right off the bat, but I think that's a little too high for them. I could see them getting to 9 possibly, but I don't see them getting to that 10th win.
Well, they win 12 games every year under Mike McCarthy and then losing the playoffs. That's been their story. So the CD Lamb signing, which we knew would happen, IU too with the 49ers, right? These guys aren't gonna, when their paychecks stop coming, things are gonna get signed. So they're both back in there. We got to see what happens with Dak Prescott. I'm a little concerned too. There's some new guys on that offensive line. Mike Zimmer's the defensive coordinator. They got some players. The one thing I think that might help them is they're noticeably better than both the Giants and the Giants and the Commanders.
Right. There's some wins there.
And see what happens with Philadelphia. But I hope that prediction is the biggest mistake you've made in the next 2 or 3 that you give us here. But all right, we'll go with that. So you got the Cowboys under 9.5. Okay. I am going to go with, and I hate to do this because it's going to get some of these Aaron Rodgers boys all wound up.
Oh, really?
I'm taking the Jets over 10.5. I think with their defense, the weapons they have around him, that Garrett Wilson, the wideout's going to have a huge year. And if Rodgers can stay healthy, I think they're gonna surpass that win total of 10.5.
Well, the ESPN has the Jets at 8.5. The Jets are going to be my number 2.
8.5.
Okay, I'm going off ESPN here. This was the other day, when I pulled this up.
Well, then,
Well, regardless, I'm with you on that. My second lock was going to be the Jets over 8.5, but I still think they're going to win 12 games too.
so we got one, let me look again, I wanna make sure.
I think that division they're in isn't that strong. There's some easy wins for them, and I said I think their defense is Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah, let's see.
But we're allowed to agree on this, right? We're allowed to have the same locks?
Yeah, sure.
That's because we have great minds think alike.
See, they got the 49ers at 11.5 too, DraftKings does.
Okay.
What do you have them on, at here?
10.5.
So
Well, this is just the ESPN site. This is the one where you're actually
can put money on?
Yeah, I guess they probably.
Yeah, so Jets at 10.5. So
Okay.
I'm going over that.
I'm still going to take that one as well. That'll be my second lock. I think the Jets are poised to have a big year, even with your boy Aaron Rodgers.
All right, what else? Oh, that's your second one. So back to me.
Yep.
Well, we can't go any farther than our Los Angeles Chargers and Coach Harbaugh.
Oh boy.
And I see you have them. Boy, that's a whole game difference there too. DraftKings has the Chargers at 8.5, and I want over on that.
Okay.
Herbert healthy. Harbaugh getting the physicality into that program. They're going to win 9, 10, 11 games maybe. So I'm not going to get weird and start picking them to win the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl like I did last year.
Oh really?
It was a little embarrassing, but yeah. So Chargers over 8.5 wins. That's another lock for me.
Okay. And I'm gonna play on the tradition and past practices. And what does DraftKings have the Lions at? I have them at 9.5. I'm guessing DraftKings might have them higher than that even.
I want to say they were a 10.5 or.
Okay.
Let's see. Detroit 10.5.
Okay, under.
Really?
Yeah, prove me wrong, Detroit. They had a great year last year. It was exciting.
They did prove you wrong last year.
Okay.
This is not the same old Lions.
Okay, well, they also gave away a chance to go to the Super Bowl, so I think there's still that stigma. Prove me wrong. Plus, the Packers are going to annihilate them twice.
All right, so you get Detroit under 10.5.
Yep.
And I'm going to take an under also at the end of this, our predictions here. I'm going to go with the Bears under 9.5. That's a lot of wins.
It is.
First of all, they're not going to beat Green Bay and Detroit in that division.
No.
They got, the Vikings are.
Without J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings are going to be.
Sam Darnold. So you got a huge quarterback. We can't get so worked up on this Caleb Williams as a rookie that paints his fingernails. So I just don't. I don't see it. I mean, he might have some big games. I don't think the Bears are going to be there this year yet. I think they're going to get to 8-win total, something like that.
Okay.
So I like them under 9.5 wins.
I can't argue with that. Like I said, prove us wrong. I'm gotta be honest. I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams. I think he's a little overrated. But again, he's going to have the opportunity to prove me wrong.
And if there's one other, well, we'll get into that because let's talk a little bit about our division picks here. Let's go with the AFC East first. While you know where I'm at with that, I just mentioned the Jets. I think they're gonna win the 11, 12 games. Buffalo didn't do enough to get help for their quarterback. I'm not sold on Miami. I don't think they're gonna win in November with Tua having to play some cold weather games. That was evident last year. They just weren't even close. So I think that's the same situation there. Those are two pretty decent teams, but I don't see them being able to beat the Jets. So I got them winning that division, and New England is going to be horrible, and they're in last. So what's your thoughts there in the East?
I agree with you on every aspect of that. The Bills are the ones that you just think are destined to get to the Super Bowl, but I don't think they've done enough to improve their team, and I think the Jets have. The defense is really good, and Aaron Rodgers has still got some life left in him, so I'm going to take the Jets in that division as well with you.
All right, AFC North. Always a tough division, and you got the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. I think there's 3 teams there that are probably capable of winning the division. I don't see Pittsburgh being able to do it, but we say that every year about them and Tomlin.
Yeah, but the problem there is I'm not a Russell Wilson fan.
No, and I'm not a Fields fan either. They got their quarterbacks. It's probably a better situation than they had last year. But Russell Wilson, that actually surprised me that he was named starter.
I don't think he's a guy I would want to play for.
Yeah, he's been tough to like here the last couple of years.
And I think Justin Fields did some good stuff with Chicago in a bad situation. I would play Fields. I would give him a shot, but I agree that at the bottom.
They're going to be a 7. What's their win total at? Let's look at that. Pittsburgh.
I got him at 8.5.
I like the under on that
I
too.
do too. But so who are you taking in that division?
I got the Ravens.
I do too. I think they actually improved their team.
They got Derrick Henry in that backfield now with Lamar, and their defense is always good. I like them. I like them all the way to the Super Bowl. There's a little teaser.
I like the way you think, a little teaser part 2. But yeah, I think they did it enough to improve their team where Lamar isn't going to have to tilt the rock as much as he did, and Derrick Henry is an absolute battering ram. There's going to be some guys in that division that have sore shoulders come Sunday evening, Monday morning.
Yeah, I think he's got enough left. So I like Baltimore to win that division. What's his face is back for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is still. Is he holding on? What's the deal with him?
I don't even know.
There's something going on there too with Cincinnati, but I don't think they're. I don't think they're as good as Baltimore on either side of the ball. Cleveland. Nick Chubb is out for first 4 games, which is good for the Cowboys because that's who we open with. But who knows with Massage Boy there?
Yeah, he rubs me the wrong way too.
It's twice now. In the South, the Colts, the Texans, the Jags, and the Titans. That's my order right there. I think Houston was they came around last year and kind of surprised some people. That quarterback from Ohio State had a hell of a year.
Yep.
But I think Indianapolis will win the division.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, so I guess we're going to separate here. I'm going to stick with the Texans. I like Stroud. Plus, you got I think Bobby Slowick's their OC down there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are up and coming. I'm gonna take the Texans in that division.
All right, there's a difference. Colts for me, Texans right behind them. Jacksonville. We'll see what happens. And the Titans is probably horrible.
I would imagine.
To the AFC West. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. I don't know how you can go against the Chiefs to win that division, right?
I mean, plus you got the Raiders and who was the other one in there?
Denver.
Denver are horrible.
Yep. San Diego. LA Chargers. I like them. I like them to come around and have a good season. I think they're going to be a playoff team with Harbaugh this year, but they're not going to beat the Chiefs. So they will continue to roll in the West. And like you said, Raiders and Broncos are both horrible. There's probably 12 wins between the two of them.
Probably, yeah. I'm going to agree with you. I'm taking the Chiefs, which I guess everybody on the planet is going to take the Chiefs in that one.
Moving to the NFC, the East, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Washington. You already gave me your pick there, and the Cowboys going under, so I'm assuming you think Philly's going to bounce back and win the division?
I do. I think the two teams at the bottom are literally at the bottom. I would not be surprised to see the Cowboys put it together, but I think they're set up for a disappointing season. Sorry to say that to you, but yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna rebound. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback. I think they have the right personnel there.
Saquon Barkley with him now too.
Yeah, again, so he won't, much like the Ravens, Hurts won't have to put the team on his back. He'll be able to hand the ball to Saquon, who I think is a fantastic running back.
Yeah, the Giants. Again, it's a quarterback situation. The Giants, Daniel Jones, keep praying that this guy turns out to be something for them. And I don't even know who Washington's quarterback is. So, Dallas. I think Dallas will win the division. I do. I think they're that much better than. I don't know what happened with Philly last year. It was just kind of weird, right? There was all this tension between Hurts and Sirianni, and now I think Sirianni's, does he have somebody else calling the plays or whatever? It was an odd, because they just collapsed.
Yeah, there was something stunk in that locker room, and I think it's fixed. I think if that nonsense in the locker room is taken care of, I think they're going to win that division.
If they have a couple tough losses early on, things can start hitting the fan.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
Those Philly fans and everybody else, but so we differ a little bit there. I got to go with my Cowboys to win that East. The North, I think it's kind of the same deal. Detroit, Green Bay, the Bears, and the Vikings. We already mentioned the fact there's two teams with quarterbacks in there, and there's two teams with unproven guys at quarterback. And Caleb Williams, I don't know if you can rely on him as a rookie, come through. The Vikings got Sam Darnold, so that leaves Green Bay and Detroit. And I think the Lions are the real deal. I don't know why they would take a step back. You feel they will. I think you're kind of hoping they will, but I got Detroit winning that division. I think Green Bay is probably around 11 wins. I think Detroit's going to get up around 12. Probably split their season series, but they're that much better than both the Bears and Vikings, so that's where I'm going.
I'm going to take the Packers. I think Detroit's going to drop a game or two that they just shouldn't, and I think they're going to take a step back this year. And I think Green Bay, had a phenomenal end of the season. There's a lot to build on, and they have so many people that can play with no real superstars.
Hey, how's your kicking situation over there in Green Bay? Not very good.
If you score touchdowns, you don't have to worry about it.
Not very good.
But I like the receivers with Green Bay. They have a lot of guys that are really good, not one focal receiver like maybe Minnesota has or something. So I'll take the Pack. I'll stick with my team on there.
I see, what's his face is out, done for the season, the running back?
Dillon?
AJ Dillon?
Yeah.
Was it neck?
Yeah, I think it was a neck injury, which you can't mess around with.
Well, you got Jacobs, he's
Which
gonna be their
I
feature
question.
back.
I questioned why they picked up Jacobs with Dillon, but that was a good move.
There you go.
Thankfully.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. So, Falcons, Saints, Bucks, and who else?
Tampa Bay.
Who am I missing there?
Did you say the Saints?
Yeah.
Does it matter? Do you really want to pick that division?
I'm picking Seattle. That's the other one, right?
Seattle's in the South?
No, they're in the West. Who the heck is in that?
Let's see. Jacksonville?
They're in the AFC.
Boy, we're on fire today. Rams?
There you go. Yeah. This is my surprise. I don't even know if it's a surprise team because they were pretty decent last year, but I really like Atlanta. I think the Falcons are gonna. That's another one. They're at 9.5. I think they can win 10 games.
That division's horrible.
Yeah, that's exactly. And they have the quarterback, right? Supposedly Kirk Cousins is over there. He's got weapons. The defense, they got 2 Pro Bowlers in the secondary. They picked up, I don't even remember the guy's name, but I think the defense can make plays. I like Atlanta to win over 9.5 games, and I think they can run away with that division.
I hate to pick that division, but I think I agree with you. I think they have more than the other teams.
Stafford is legit, right?
Yeah.
They did a nice job last year.
And I like McVay. I like what they do offensively, but I'm going to take Atlanta there.
And then the West, I don't know.
Go ahead, take them. Go ahead. Are you taking them?
49ers?
Yeah.
I'm taking them.
So am I. I think they walk away with that one.
I don't know who else would you can threaten them there. Seattle sucks. Cardinals suck. So yeah, 49ers.
Okay.
We'll see what happens with Brock Purdy. We just mentioned it, Ayuk's back, so they're set on both sides of the ball. The Niners should be damn good again. So.
I agree.
But they're not as good as the Detroit Lions this year. My Super Bowl picks.
Oh, really?
Derrick Henry and the Ravens against the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
I got some Lion fans that are gonna love that, I think.
Well, you're just kissing up to your Lion friends.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think Baltimore gets there. Again, getting through Kansas City is gonna be tough, but I think they have.
We can't keep picking Kansas City, can we? Somebody's got to beat them.
Well,
God.
I think Baltimore could. I think Baltimore's got the team that can. With Lamar and the running game, I think you keep the way you beat them is you keep Mahomes off the field because he's just unreal. Like if he has the ball in his hands, he can beat you. I'm going to take Baltimore to come out of the AFC, and I think San Francisco is coming out of the NFC, and I'm going to take San Fran to win it all. I think they have so many weapons there. If they stay healthy, I think they're going to be the best team in the NFL.
The big thing is for Baltimore, once playoffs come around, it's what Lamar Jackson does at playoff time.
Yeah.
He's like Dak. Dak was. Those are the 2 quarterbacks, 1 and 2 in the MVP balloting last year, and both of them laid eggs again in the playoffs, and that'll be the story there for both those guys. But
well, I think with Baltimore, teams want to make Lamar beat you with his arm, right? You load up the box, but now even with that, with
Derrick Henry
Derrick
there.
Henry, I think that neutralizes some of that. So I'll take the Ravens and the 49ers, and I'm gonna pick the 49ers to come out on top.
All right.
Who'd you pick to win?
The Ravens are going to beat the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Baltimore's going to win it all this year.
Beautiful. And that's our NFL predictions.
That's a wrap, yeah.
Holy Mackinac. Anything else that's going on in the world of sports that we need to address?
Well, let's see. Sad news that Johnny Goudreau,
Oh, yes. Killed on the bike.
Johnny Hockey, I think did he play for New Jersey? Or was he playing for the Flyers?
I think it was the Flyers, but a
The
tragic accident.
The accident happened in New Jersey, I believe. It was
Him and his brother.
The day before they were groomsmen in their sister's wedding. Just horrible. I saw that pop up, so that was tough news there. Other than that, I don't know. High school football, we're going to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, that started off last week with Thursday games. I guess nothing really shocking came out of it.
No,
Calumet put the boots to West Iron, which would be kind of expected. Hancock knocked off Lawrence in a 6-0 thriller. I'm sure you wish you were at that one. Gremlin, Houghton battled Iron Mountain pretty good.
Yeah,
Houghton played well in their scrimmage against Gladstone, so that was a good game.
Iron Mountain's legit, right?
Yeah, Marty's got some dudes. Marty's going to step away after this year. This is his last year. I know it came out in the paper. He had told me this would be his last year.
And the Jacobsons.
And the Jacobsons are going to step away at Nagani.
And I heard Nagani's the real deal this year. Again, I mean, they've had a good run here, but it sounds like they got some players. So yeah, there's some big time UP coaches there that are going to be stepping aside after the year.
Cool game to start off. Hurley is now an 8-man football team in Wisconsin, which people are complaining about that because Lakeland had traveled to Hurley and they played, which is awesome. It's always a great situation. Hurley had a little more than the Lakes that game, but I had a lot of people say, well, they got 35 guys. Okay, listen, here's the deal with Hurley. They did not want to go 8-man football like a lot of UP schools did. Their closest games are over 3 hours. And those schools that they are in that conference with will not play them as NJV teams. So in order to keep their program where it needs to be, they had to make the move where they can have some games that are less than 3 hours and have JV games. So it was not an easy decision, and again, I'm getting this right from the horse's mouth, as we know. I have some sources over there, but Hurley beat the Lakes 36-20, and other games are Clarkston Wolves and Belleville. That was a good game. How about DeWitt and Hazlitt? Did you see that score?
No, why would I see that?
Come on, Oj. DeWitt and Hazlitt. DeWitt beat Hazlitt 69-42. Quarterback from DeWitt has committed to Tech for next year.
Really?
So there's some good games there. More games on tap this week as well.
Area volleyball. I think we have actually a listener question.
Let's wait on
maybe
that
touch on that later. But anyway, yeah. So it's,
how about Jake Witt making the decision to
Yeah.
step away? He was optioned to the practice squad or put on waivers, which we fully expected. I think
especially after that last game, we talked about that. I watched it, and to see where he was at.
Did you read his post? About
Yeah,
it?
very classy.
Yep.
Which that was him, right? He did it. It was worded it really well on Facebook, letting everybody know. I think not that he has to, right?
No, he doesn't owe anybody anything, but he stepped away with class. Nobody can fault him. Everybody wanted to see him, make it, but it's a tough deal there, and congratulations to what he accomplished. He made it exciting for us up here for the last year.
I think in an ideal situation, he comes in last year and is healthy, and then spends a year on the practice squad where you really get the idea of get your feet wet into the NFL, right?
Right.
And learn, and this would have been year 2. You would have had to go through that grind, which I'm sure being a member of the practice squad is not.
Well, the other thing is he could have, maybe he wanted to, if he could have pursued like the CFL, which you see a lot of guys go up to do that, but taking care of his body, he made a run at it, he chased his dream. Congratulations, Jake. We're very proud of you, happy for you, and wish you nothing but the best.
All right. Copper Country Sauna is the premier sauna builder in the Keweenaw, led by 2 brothers-in-law that share a passion for saunas and want to provide custom saunas to the Copper Country residents. When you are ready to throw some water on the rocks, visit our website at coppercountrysauna.com. Give us a call at 906-281-9427.
Well, Oj, we're going to go to Crouchy's Corner, and we alluded to this last week that over the summer, we spent some time hitting the road, and doing some interviews, and this week, we're going to share the interview. We had the opportunity to sit down with Hall of Fame coach Dick Franti, longtime coach in Ontonagon. You know him really well. I battled him on the softball diamond this summer, but we sat down with him, and what a treat it is to talk to him.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Dick in a while, so it was good to get together with him and listen to some of his stories. And like I said, I don't know how he did it all those years, going from girls basketball in the fall and season's over, and then you got to walk back in and play boys basketball in the winter. He did that for many years, and that's I don't know how he did it, but he did it, and he did it well.
And unlike you, he wore a tie every game. At Mountain Salolo PC, our dedicated team of lawyers serves clients in various areas of law: personal injury, family law, criminal defense, and business and real estate law. We offer exceptional legal representation and strive for our clients' most favorable outcomes. Contact us for a consultation at 906-774-2480. It's the mailbag today, Oj. You want to take that first question? I know this looks to be like your area of expertise.
Yeah, good to hear from P.P. Allen again.
P.P. Allen.
Looking forward to the new sideline season. Can't wait to hear the local volleyball predictions. Who are the teams to beat? Will it be Calumet? Also, how do you think America's team will do this football season? Well, we kind of already talked about that. I'm referring to the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, whatever. Lastly, who is your favorite football announcers? Good question. Who is your least favorite football announcers? Another good question. That is from P.P. Allen. Well, I think volleyball-wise, it always starts with Calumet around here, right? The program is at that level right now where it's each year they're just reloading with talent. And one of the things too that Katie, Coach Bonacorsi, has to deal with there is just the number of kids that she has going out, freshmen, the JV team, the freshman team, JV team, of course, the varsity, and that poor coach, she's got to make a lot of cuts. Yeah. And then you hear, the buzzing around Calumet with disgruntled parents over whose kids didn't make the team. That is a horrible, horrible job for any coach to have to do that. Football coaches don't have to deal with that. You can, whatever numbers you have, you got. But in basketball and volleyball, that's the reality of it. And, you start to hear that. Obviously hockey too, right? But you hear about the stories of parents that are upset their daughter or son didn't make these teams. That's a horrible, horrible job for coaches to have to do that.
And having to deal with it because of the success you're having.
Exactly.
Right? Like you work your tail off and build a premier program, which you want kids, right? That's what you want, and it's unfortunate that, you can only take so many on there. Now we never cut at Lake Linden. Remember those years with the machine, JV basketball? I had like 24 kids out for JV basketball.
That was fun coaching.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Calumet's going to be tough. I'm sure Holton's going to be solid again. They've got a good program.
Here's a little fun fact. Hancock has a new volleyball coach. Are you aware of this one?
No.
Former Lake Linden Hubble Lake, former Finlandia coach, former University of Idaho head coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Former Division I coach. Our good friend Brian Lampa is now taking.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found out a few weeks back. Good, I'm glad because he's a great volleyball coach.
Sure, he'll do well there.
He will. So I wouldn't count. I have no idea what it is on the volleyball scene, but I'm guessing he's going to get a lot out and make the Hancock Bulldogs volleyball team as good as they could possibly be.
Yeah, I think just getting back to Calumet again quick. They've gotten that program to the point now where it's almost. And I know Coach Bonacorsi doesn't look at it that way. You can't start looking at quarterfinals and stuff like that. But that's the goal, right? They want to win a state title. It's not winning conference championships anymore. It's winning state championships. And those girls, hopefully, they can find a way to get the job done when it comes to the big time playoff games down the road there. So, other than that, I'm not even talking about whatever he's talking about.
Who's your favorite?
Cowboys are going to win the division. They're going to win 12 games again, and we'll see what happens with Dak in the playoffs. Football announcers, great question. When I first read that, when we go back to to the 80s. Was there anything better than Pat Summerall and John Madden?
That's exactly where I was going to go.
And on the NBC side of it back then, because that's what they had, right? It was CBS and NBC. Merlin Olsen, well, he was the color man, but Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen were outstanding also. Love those guys. Present day, to me, I guess, I know some people don't like them, but I enjoy sitting back and you know it's a big time game when Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are doing it. You agree?
I'm not a Joe Buck. I could put closer to my least favorite.
See, that's what some people don't like him. Too pompous?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yep. I'm not a big fan of him.
So what do you like?
Like Kerman, I actually like Aikman. Again, I don't mind listening to him. I like listening to those guys that know what's going on. Like when Tony Romo was doing and calling the plays, that drives me nuts too.
Yeah, well, that's on the least favorite side, and I kind of liked him right away, but it's gotten old. He talks too much. You got to shut up a little bit. You know, he's too overwhelming.
Collinsworth drives me nuts.
Oh, he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Collinsworth sucks. You know who I liked last year a lot was that tight end from Carolina, Olsen.
Oh, Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen.
Yep,
I thought he did a good job
color
covering guys, but I can't think of who the play-by-play guy is with him.
I'm not good with those ones. Like I said, I like listening to Aikman because he has credibility with the game and doesn't try to jam it down your throat. Joe Buck annoys me. Collinsworth, get out of here, you know. But
yeah, he's got to go. I can't stand Chris Collinsworth. So yeah, decent question there from PPL. Good to hear from him. Let's move on. You got the next one.
All right, our boy Caskin Flag and Dwayne. Crouchy Oj, I'm a huge fan of Ed from Waukesha. Really? I thought they had beat Floyd. Any Floyd fan is good in my book. She won't let you fly, but she might let you sing. All right, whatever that means. Short question to keep Crouchy happy. Appreciate that, Caskin Flagon. What sport will be the first to offer a $1 billion contract to an athlete? It's actually a pretty good question. You think it's coming? $1 billion?
Well, so where are we at football-wise now? These guys, every year, right, certain quarterback or whatever sets a standard, and then they go up. What are the Dodgers going to pay? Well, Shohei's already locked up. I'm trying to think of who these pitchers are.
I'll take the lead on this. I don't think you'll ever see $1 billion is more than we think. You know, we throw it around like it's nothing. I mean, 100 million. I mean, I'm not a mathematician here, but it takes a lot of millions to get to $1 billion.
To get to $1 billion.
I'm not, again, I can not a great math student in school, as Mrs. Cutter would allude to, but I don't think you're going to see $1 billion individual contract.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Other than it would have to be a pitcher or in the NFL a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
That's where we're looking at that. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that. So
it is a good question. I don't want to just brush it off because I think it's something to think about. But $1 billion is just too much money.
30 years ago, would we have said somebody's going to get $100 million? You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not. But I'm gonna hold firm. I don't think you'll see $1 billion. I mean, think about a quarterback. How many year contract would that have to be at $100 million? If we paid you $100 million a year, right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's the part I'm thinking. Right? Could you see a $500 million contract? Maybe. I don't know, but I think $1 billion is just out of our lifetime. All right. Oh, is that all we got on the mailbag today?
I believe so.
All right, located 8 miles south of Lake Linden on the Bojack Road, the Dreamland Restaurant's your choice for great dining, family owned and operated for over 100 years. Whether you're in the mood for their Mexican Monday specials, burgers, pizza, or a Friday fish fry, Dreamland is your next stop. Out comes the Blue Notebook. And I gotta be honest, as I was doing some work with that, Oj, I like your choice this week.
Do you?
Yeah. Did you write it down in there? Hard to tell with that chicken scratch, eh?
That was something else. I went back 2 pages. I found an empty sheet that I already. See, do you see the confusion here, Coach?
I do. I'm not understanding why you would not have just continued at the end of it to keep your journal accurate.
I was fairly certain I wrote this stuff down last night.
You were due for a bump in the road, that's for sure.
All right, so in the late 80s, George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, who was from ELO, Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, and Roy Orbison formed an all-star group for the ages. You remember that?
I do.
Would you have gotten that right away?
I think I would have. I think when you said George Harrison and then brought in Roy Orbison, I would have gotten that. And again, I have zero music knowledge.
So the quote that kind of followed them was that they were the biggest supergroup of all time. The Traveling Wilburys. They were short-lived. Everything folded once Roy Orbison suddenly died, so that was it for the band. But to me, the best song that band recorded came from Dylan reading the label on the inside of a box in his garage. And the label said, "Handle with care." Basically, the song summed up that generation from the 60s, headed into the 70s, and had to learn how to handle it with care. Call it rock, folk, country, whatever you want, but you can't deny the Traveling Wilburys were a super group for the ages. So enjoy "Handle with Care" by the Traveling Wilburys. Listen to the lyrics. It was brought to you by Keweenaw Auto Body, located on Pine Street in Calumet. They're your choice for quality collision and body repair since 1966. They are open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and 8 to 12 on Saturday. Give them a call at 906-337-1203.
Heck of a job again today, Oj.
Well,
I don't know if it's as good as that performance last week, but you really are kind of dialed in here as we wrap up the summer.
Well, I appreciate it.
Getting to be the exciting time of year too, right? Not minus the school.
It's my favorite time of the year. Love it. Baseball playoffs. Let's not do an episode without mentioning my Milwaukee Brewers, who are now, by the way, 24 games over 500, tied with the Philadelphia Phillies for the second best record in the National League, 2 games behind the Dodgers for the best record in the National League, which is important because you don't want to play that first round. We've got to get that bye. Brewers are rolling right now again. They just swept a doubleheader on Friday from the Reds, 5-4 last night. Jackson Churio smacked a home run in the 9th inning to win it. We had a scare on Friday too. Rolled his ankle, trying to beat out an infield single. The Reds announcers made it sound like the bone was coming out the side of his neck. It was unbelievable. I was driving up to town and I'm just going, holy crap, Jackson Churio's done. And the next inning he's back out there playing. So he's tough also.
Boy, these Brewers are going to lead to some major heartbreak come October. I'm guessing, but
Tigers are 500 too.
Well, yeah, I have not watched a lick of baseball in the month of August. Even though we're into September, I have not watched a second of baseball.
Fun time of year. Baseball playoffs in the NFL and college football. We'll watch USC LSU tonight. Like we said, next Saturday, Michigan, Texas. We'll see where the Wolverines stand after that one.
Yeah. All right. See you, Oj.
Talk to you later, Crouchy.